Welcome back to Market on Close. Shares of Strategy are up about 5% right now after its latest at-the-money offering. The company raised $128.1 million and acquired an additional 196 Bitcoin for approximately $22.1 million at an average price of $113,048 per Bitcoin. As of September 28th, the company holds about 640 Bitcoin at an average price of $73,983. So with all of that, it's now time for Options Corner with Rick Ducat. Time to take a look at Strategy, have our lead market technician walk us through what we're talking about here with Strategy. As we look at their chart here, they were MicroStrategy at many points during this original chart, now just Strategy. But walk us through some of the technicals as we look at this one. Major move to the upside here, but last week we had a massive liquidation and it wasn't the same story.
Yeah, 5-year weekly chart here, you can see from that low point 1326 to about where we are now, about a 2,300+% gain. So really impressive longer term growth here. We can see though that this is a type of company that, as you said, has a very significant Bitcoin holding here. So the correlation between these two, they tend to be quite highly correlated, meaning they move in the same direction here. This is a 13-week correlation, so like a quarter basically on our weekly chart here. So if we were to look at this crypto sector here, even for a volatile sector, no one known for big swings, MicroStrategy is by far the winner here on this 3-year weekly chart, even above a Coinbase and Riot and Marathon. So really some impressive performance. Not everyone was quite so enthusiastic though. Peter Schiff, called yesterday MicroStrategy's $69.5 billion worth of Bitcoin holdings fool's gold. $69.5 billion. Yeah. So basically he said it's a huge gain on paper, but they can't actually cash it out without causing a market crash, so it's not liquid. No response from Michael Saylor, probably crying into his Bitcoin, weeping, really sad. But
yes, really weeping. And I may have misspoken there in the intro. They have 640,000 Bitcoin now. That is their reserve. But, as we look at it against things like Coinbase and just Bitcoin overall in terms of performance, you can't help but see how high the green is here.
I know, it's really impressive here. And if we were to look more closely at our candle chart here, we can see that, as you said, kind of a bit of a pullback here, a falling wedge type shape here. But that's actually more of a bullish pattern, because we're seeing that the point where the two lines are converging getting increasingly narrow. So you're looking for a breakout beyond either of those levels. Typically, this is viewed as more bullish, as I said here. If that were to happen, 358, our red line here, low points, low point, breakdown point, high point here. That would be one notable area to cross above on the road back to that 400 level here, an old high here, and breakdown points there. If we were to incorporate some of our other studies, we can see that volume profile shows the heavy trading area is right about here, right around that 330 level or so. It also comes together with our -1 standard deviation channel as well. So quite a bit to work through there. And then we would be seeing the volume start to taper off noticeably once again above 400.
And even with this move to the upside that we're seeing today, we are still trading below that 330 level. So as far as options activity, what does it look like?
Sure. So expected move for October 17th is this purple box right here, plus minus 12.6% only in 18 days. So that's a significant potential expected move. We can see here that just below 293, our recent low point, that's around the lower edge of that expected move. So that sticks out as potential support here. A very actively traded name, though. 383,000 options traded here. 2/3 of those were calls. And even today, the sizzle is below average, so below the 5-day moving average of activity here.
And as far as any notable trades that we saw, we're seeing a real, I don't know if it's fair to call it a correction, but we're certainly seeing a turn up now in the crypto space after that massive liquidation last week it tried to recover from. Are we seeing any notable trades?
There was quite a few very large trades that came in right before our segment here, plus 7,500 of each of these strikes in the October 3rd calls, 312.50, 330, 335, 345. Total debit paid $24.7 million. A lot of those trades, though, look like they were closed out only about 7 minutes later. Kind of too complicated to get into here, but it seems like it was a very short-term trade for very big dollar amounts. Not very much profit, though.
All right, Rick, well, thank you for talking strategy with us, breaking down the options action for us.